Welcome back to Rational Funk. It's important to remember as a drummer, we all know this. I mean, of course, hopefully there are people watching this show that aren't drummers and you're just here for the life lessons. And, you might think, oh, these guys are silly. They're doing some parody. They're doing some whatever. We've never done a parody, not one time. In fact, the only time I've ever done a parody, ever, was a parody of a drum instruction video. That's the only time I've ever done a parody in my life, Joe. The idea of using humor to elevate your love for something is kind of what this show is all about. If you can take that, and if you're a non-drummer, you can do whatever. But all drummers know that your ride cymbal, your crash cymbal, or I only play ride cymbals, by the way. I don't know many. In fact, I don't know a lot of drummers that play crash cymbals. I know that they're quite popular with rock and rollers. I haven't played a crash cymbal in a long time. I should check in on the crash cymbal scene. Might do an episode on crash cymbals. Throw one out to the crash cymbals every now and again. We did a ride cymbal splash, because I used to play a splash cymbal as a 6-inch splash and an 8-inch splash for my ride cymbals before, just as a challenge to see how many tones I could get out of there and just be able to play like a Tony Williams style up-tempo where you're just like, yeah, Tony, and the thing is da-da-ding, 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 but it's on a 6-inch splash. You try that sometime. It's not... I was thinking about putting that on Instagram, just like me just playing, you know what I mean, Joe? Like a live at the Plug Nickel, where I'm just like, just burning on that thing, and it's like the camera widens and it's a 6-inch splash. People are like, no way, right? How do you do that? But I'm saying, like, as a drummer, your cymbals are family. It's like, yeah, I love my drums. My great company, 651, Twin Cities Drum Collective. I know that feels like a mega endorsement, but I mean, these guys are the sweetest cats. This is a beautiful kit they let us use for the Rational Funk relaunch. And I started thinking about it, though. Yeah, drums are amazing. We all love our drums. We all love, we have our love affair with our drum set. But your cymbals are like family. Those are things, as a jazz musician especially, it goes without saying. You take your cymbals with you on the road. You bring them, you check them at the airport with a soft bag, like I do, where they can just be thrown around. They get earthier when you see those baggage handlers dealing with them. You know what I mean, Joe? A lot of the old jazz cats used to take their ride cymbals and they'd bury them in the ground. And it would be like something where, like, yeah, I put my ride cymbal in the dirt for like 6 months and I did it, right? I do a similar thing. I have basically this. I have a bag that is so soft and so frail. It's the cheap bags you get. You know what I mean? Like the cheapest bag on the planet. I check them at the airport. I say, and they were like, "Sir, would you like a fragile sticker?" I'm like, "Hell the fuck no! I don't want a fragile sticker. What do I look like?" You know what I mean? And I go like this, and they're like this, jazz cat. I've seen it a million times. You know what I mean? When you're checking in, you got some Delta rep. You're like, "Oh, what do you got there? You got some cymbals?" I'm like, "I got my family with me." They have tickets? And I'm like, "No, it's my Zildjian, my Zildjian cymbals, my family." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I get it. You want a fragile sticker?" Who the fuck puts a fragile sticker on a soft bag with cymbals? I check them. Right, Joe? I just check them. They get to my destination sometimes, and when they're there, I pull them out. I'm like, that's the tone I'm going to be dealing with tonight. Doesn't matter if it sounds like a fucking Mountain Dew can. So what I did is I started reading, well, you're going to think this is silly, and everyone's going to be like this, so this is silly, but I started reading poetry to my cymbals. And I thought I would tonight read a little Paul Celan, one of the great German poets of the 20th century. Not easy. I'm going to read Night. And I'm going to read it to this guy right here. This old warhorse. We'll get a close-up of this bad boy. This old warhorse and I have seen a lot of nights where I dropped beats and turned the beat around in some forms, and everyone was looking at me like, what the hell? And like, does this guy even know what he's doing? This guy was with me right here. How many nights where I was playing and I couldn't fucking think of a single thing original at all, and I started sounding like an homage to all of the macking Instagram clips in all history rolled into one moment, and I had self-hatred amounts that were literally like piled like garbage heaps that are out in the middle of like rural Montana where they put wherever they're putting the garbage. That's my self-hatred was that high. And this old guy was with me though, every step of the way. Sometimes when I would play it and I felt like I wanted to myself because I sounded so fucking terrible that I don't even know what to say, and I would go back to the hotel and be like, are you fucking kidding me? You shouldn't even own drumsticks. This cat was with me right here. This guy sticking with old Dave. When Dave was playing Harry Mary's in Des Moines in 1999 in front of a half a person, and questioning everything about everything that I care about and love and everything. This old war horse with pebbles and scree, and a shared note thin as the hour's message of comfort. Exchange of eyes finite at the wrong time, image constant, lignified the retina, the sign of eternity. Conceivable up there in the cosmic network of rails, like stars, the red of two mouths. Audible before dawn, a stone that made the other its target. Draft of a landscape. Oh, okay, all right. Draft of a landscape. Circular graves below, in 4-beat time. The years pace on, the steep steps around them. Lavas, basalts, glowing, stone from the world's heart. Wellspring tough, where light grew for us before our breath. Oil green soaked with it. Oil green, wake up. Oil green soaked with sea spray, the impassable hour toward the century gray. A stone saddle, and on it, dented and charred, the animal forehead with its radiant blaze. Is this a pistol whip?
Yeah.
Now in German. Rundgraber unten